we're not gonna like see anything too special from him today. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. I'm assuming we'll probably see Lucian throughout the entire set. And like you said, the onus really now on Stingray to find a lot of capitalization on Zol this first game. And I mean, what a better stage to start it off on than Miami. You have the smaller blast zone there. Cannon is wild when it comes to horizontal velocity. This could be a really good way to just stuff out Luna and not find any impact with a large amount of spacing that blasters are required. Oh,
it's going to be excellent to. He's already swapped off it, but just the cannon alone, like you were mentioning, that horizontal gameplay. Even at this HP, if he was to find a side light into side air into recovery, it could take the stock. But as we're saying that the stock's already been taken, a beautiful weapon throw, and he confirms it with the breakdance off stage. Just pinpoint accuracy with that side air. And we're not even going to talk about how he aims the weapon throw after. He's already adding up more damage on this next stock as Luna goes for a really risky side light. Stingray is just there to punish. Cheesy side light just off the platform.
And it seems like Luna just doesn't have any options right now. Struggling to pick something up in game number 1. We're only about, what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes in so far, and Stingray, it seems like they have utter dominant control just completely onto the stage. This axe on a Zol where you have 8 damage applied to Stingray right now, you're forced to respect a lot of these swings coming up from the side air. And at times, especially with that axe, you can find a lot of free hits that you normally wouldn't find on axe-wielding legends.
This is very, very insane to look at, right? If we're able to dissect Stingray's gameplay right now, not only is his grounded game just completely punishing, and that's what you expect from Axe, right? You expect a grounded game where it's like if you miss your attack, you're getting sidelight nared for 30 damage and the follow-ups are just endless, right? But even more than that, it feels like Luna's not even allowed to be in the air. See, just another whiff and it's an instant punish. It feels like Luna's not allowed to play in the air. As soon as Luna jumps, it's just a side air coming at him. You saw him touch the platform for 1 second, and it's a GC side sig. And those are just the things that you expect Stingray to bring out when he starts playing a character. He expects such beautiful placement of the signatures and of the movement, right? Now, Luna, don't count him out just yet. You saw a nice conversion off that GC downline in the air into the recovery to get that stock off of Stingray. And now you're seeing him try to play it slower, see if he can bring it back, as Stingray has the axe in hand, and it's the slow attacks. It's something Luna can kind of pinpoint and dissect, but every hit matters so much. He's already in the deep red.
Yeah, and we can see since Luna found a lot of impact with those guitars, the confidence is back yet again. Stingray, like you mentioned, slower gameplay now met up with the raw aggression of Lucian. The axe is not finding much in terms of spacing or those punishes whatsoever. Trying to go for those cannons again. Good for the downer, sending Luna off stage. This is a perfect ledge guard opportunity for Stingray.
This is such a hard game for him. Yeah, I was about to say the endless options, the wall that's set up right now is just something you can't break through. The end lights we're gonna knock out, 2 down lights we're gonna knock out, and he's just holding that axe. If you're in the air, the side airs are gonna knock out. You're unarmed on the left side. What can Luna do there to make it back through that wall?
There's really not much. And I wouldn't be surprised if we just see Luna carry on with the Lucian and almost go exclusively guitars for the rest of this set. Because the guitars on Miami found a lot of impact, but when you're Stingray and you have so much damage that you can use, you can tank a few of those early combos and just go for a side air. Just at the very end of that last stock that we saw, you're able to have some of that agency that a lot of the other legends won't have. But we are going back to stage select again, though. No changes whatsoever for either one of these players. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Miami knocked away, maybe opting for a larger stage. But I also feel like both of these players can benefit from the smaller blast zones of Miami just for those early KOs.
That's the thing with blast zones, right? We always talk about them and we give them the benefit of the doubt where it's like, okay, if someone has high force, you don't want to take them to a small blast zone. But that same argument applies for you. If you have low force, it's going to be easier to KO on a small blast zone, right? So it's just about how you play the map and what your weapons can benefit from. The Miami Dome is going to be knocked off there, and we're seeing the widest array of maps possible, right? And when it came down to it at DreamHack Dallas and other lands, when you gave Luna a wide map, he had to rely so much on his better neutral to play because the KOs were coming in so late. He had to be so much better and rack up so much more damage than his opponent. You're against Zol. Racking up damage is all the character does, right? So he has to be so careful and play neutral so well there. We saw it towards the end of last game. Let's see if we can see it again as we get into this game.
Early weapon starve coming out from Stingray. A great start there, but Luna's unafraid with unarmed. And unarmed, the guitars have found the most value from this kit. at least in the set so far. Not that we have a big sample size, considering we're, what, a few hits into game number 2. But the Blasters, we see immediately as they're brought out, Stingray's forced to respect it a lot more, looking for the punish, going for a great start up there. But it looks like the neutral stage wasn't able to find a lot in the return. Sider comes out though, ledge guard with that, and a great down sig coming up from the cannon into a combo starter. Even if we didn't see the down sig from that cannon find any raw damage against Luna, the fact that it was meant to displace Luna way farther out from the ledge and allow Stingray to get that final hit to convert that stock, that shows how powerful Zol can be, even if you can't use the damage to your benefit.
Another sidelight endlight. The N6 is going to read the spot dodge, and I mean, you were talking about how much these guitars did last game. I think it's safe to say at this point that the Blasters just do nothing, right? That's probably the disrespectful way to say it, but the Blasters are just not getting any work done in this game. He's switching into it here because it's Luna. When he gets you in that damage percentile, the Blasters are what he uses to knock you out of, but we're only seeing him able to find these GC downlights here, and you can't get the recovery as easily off that as you would on the ground. The Blasters aren't doing as much work as we'd expect from them, and he's back here on the guitars trying to find this knockout, but it's Apocalypse. You're sending him so far each time. Finally, that recovery is going to knock you out, but I'm sorry to say, but your HP shade is matching Lucian's shirt at this point. You're in the red. There's nothing more for you to do except get knocked out by this cannon. The Sider is going to send him to the right.
Oh, Luna, good nair to start things forwards, resetting Stingray just a little bit. The horizontal nair. I'm sorry, Sarah not finding a whole lot though. Luna still holding on to the second stock, just racking up damage as much as humanly possible before the inevitable starts. And speaking of the inevitable, Stingray takes back that lead, but already a pretty dark shade of orange coming out from the damage from Stingray. He's got to hold on to the second stock. And kind of going back to what you were saying before, Remy, we were seeing a lot of counterplay between the two weapons. Luna brings out the Blasters here, and it's going to keep at least a little bit of that axe at bay. But Luna's got to swap off to those guitars sooner rather than later, because the guitars up-close scrappy gameplay has found so much more benefit for Luna here, especially at the end of each of these stocks, rather than chipping away damage with just these Blasters.
Luna has found 3 Blasters hits for Stingray's entire stock, and he's not. It was 3 Blasters hits in that entire stock compared to Stingray completely just doing multiple combos, multiple interaction wins into the cannon there. Luna has to be thinking about a swap off here or something to answer the Zol with, because the guitars, they're working, but they're not enough here. So what can you pull out? Is it going to be the Taros? Are you going to match the brute force with your own brand of brute force? Is it going to be a different guitar character? I think that's not possible, because when it comes down to it, Luna only practices the Lucian when it comes to guitars. Is there a secondary he can mesh in?
That's a really good question. I feel like we're more likely to see the Taros come out than a secondary guitar legend. But we'll have to wait and see.
Even Luna is mentioning it. He's saying that matchup, man, it's not something you can easily play, and he knows it. He knows that he's looking at his character roster. What does he have available? And it could be a long shot, but the Caspian even. We know he's played it. We know he has it from BCX. The Caspian is there. Maybe that's it, because it mixes in the gauntlets from the Mordex he has. Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable with just the Mordex itself. We haven't seen him on the Siphon in a while, but that gauntlets, that's a pick he has. The guitars are a pick he has. Stingray is just an idol. He's just sitting there. The Zol's already locked in. He's not replying to Luna. He does not care what he has to say. The Zol's locked in. He's ready to go in the next game.
I mean, why switch was not broken, right? This Zola has been so powerful. And again, when you have Lucian, you have a lot of chip damage you can apply with both the Blasters and the guitars. But in terms of just stock takedowns, you really have to rely on a lot of signature potential. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you were right. We do get to see the Diamond Head Caspian lock in. And the Gauntlets, I feel like, are going to find a lot more value here. But do you think the Gauntlets are going to be the answer, or is it just switching to a different form of guitars?
I think the higher damage is going to be key here. I think the higher damage is going to make a lot of a difference. The force isn't too much lower, but it wasn't really mattering. It's all any character after like a good six hit string like we saw in the end of last game is going to end up in red. So just seeing, this is up to Luna at this point, right? Stingray is going to be doing the same thing, the same game plan. It's up to Luna to use his new stats, new weapons, kits, and new SIGs to add on damage. The guitars are doing the same amount of work as we were seeing last game so far, right? That sidelight is still going to get punished by Stingray. The movement is still good from both parties. The trades are still there from both parties, and the side air sends him flying.
Oh, but this first stock hasn't looked the best for Luna. Sent off stage, brings it back forwards. These nairs, again, just chipping damage and resetting, removing the weapon 2 from Stingray. Cannon hasn't made an appearance in this game yet, but it may very well soon. Maybe the great option there. A charge side sig unarmed, not able to find much. Ledge guard from Luna out though. Oh, but the delay down sig doesn't find anything either. A great read from Stingray into the spot dodge. Adds extra distance away from Luna to make sure they cannot find that gauntlet recovery. Great way of going.
That was a nice
reading
end
out
light.
how Luna loves to play. Gravity cancel, neutral light doesn't find much either. Recovery doesn't connect.
Oh, the ground pound!
Out of nowhere it fell! Stingray's playing so reactively right now. Luna's gotta stay in that driver's seat if they want to bring this to an even stock line again. But Stingray's going for the weapon star.
I was gonna talk about how that first stock mattered so much. I felt like whoever took that first stock was gonna be in the driver's seat for this game. And now you're seeing Stingray opt to go back to the map, a little too aggressive there with the GC against Guitars. You're gonna get punished and you're gonna lose that stock. The game is even, like you were saying, no one's taking any damage. And Luna priming out the next set of Guitars. Just kind of zoning him out. Keeping the weapon throws there just to force him to move.
Oh, weapon starved. Doesn't quite work though. It's a great punish though for Stingray to pick up that axe. A lot of guitar strings underway for the aerial. Stingray again, like you mentioned, almost getting zoned out by these guitars, at least to an extent. He's just looking for an opening right now. The heavy amount of damage that you can apply with Stingray only means you can get a few hits before you need to back away. That's good. The siders.
No, he's out of options. He's out of options.
Them to the ledge. Beautiful work there. Good lord. And you have to wonder now, Stingray with this comeback, Luna now down to their final stock for this game. What can they possibly do?
Luna just has such an aggressive playstyle, and it sometimes bites him where it's like you're doing these strings and you get your read off and you don't reset neutral after. You're just in the air looking for what more you can get, trying to pack in even more damage. Luna just does not ever slow down with the cars, and Stingray is completely breaking his wall. Like when it's the overextensions. We get that KO there, but that last stock just went flying. It went from Luna getting 4 hits in a row to Stingray just hitting him once because he went for the 5th hit. Because he wasn't willing to give up that 5th hit. Stingray just hits him off with no jumps, and the ground pound is there. Now this stock again, we're seeing it, the aggression, the neutral air, the down air is not placed for you, and you still go for it. And gets you punished, but Stingray is off stage down with the guitars. Luna doesn't go aggressive there. He lets him get back to the wall, and now he has the gauntlets versus the axe. One good side air might be the end of Luna's story in the winner's bracket. The side air's there, the weapon throw isn't gonna kill.
No displacement.
Neutral air closes it off.
Wow, and you brought up a really good point though at the end of that last stock that Stingray is able to reset themselves so much easier than what Luna can bring out, to the point where that final stock, Luna had no choice but to play ultra aggressive, try to force the offstage play.
Now we didn't see it on the replay. All we got to see was the ground pound. But if we were able to get the replay, you would see Luna